see how it looks on the phone. I've never streamed in vertical, so this is quite new for me. Looks fantastic. Okay. Is the code visible? Great. Right. We're looking good. We're looking very good. So, yeah. Next object we're working on is right here. So for those guys who are just joining the stream, we've just started, we've just gone live. Welcome to the stream. We've just gone live. We're coding and we're coding at random. This is something I never thought I would do. I never thought I'd stream in vertical, but here we are. We're just trying this out. So for the guys who joined, the 18, I've seen you. Thank you so much for joining. Now, can we progress? I want to show you what I've built. This is one of the best things that I've built so far in the year coming. Okay, so let's actually just begin touring this thing. I'm just going to start afresh. So I'm just going to let me flush the database. Let me flush the database. See what happens. Flush the database, and then I'll go to my admin section and make the changes that are required. So my admin section, don't mind the admin section. Essentially, this admin section is one of the best, and it's only accessible to me essentially on the live server. So I've already hosted this app. It's just that now I'm refreshing it for demo purposes. And for demo purposes, of course, I'll have to go ahead and edit some of these plans. So I'll come in here and edit these to give maybe this one a few more features like advanced management, overtime, bonuses and fines, and then payroll management, and that's it, and payslip extraction. So those are the features that I'll add for this plan. But for this next plan, I have to add all of them. So they're only going to be 2 plans as per me. So I'll just update those. We'll move on to the, what's this? The banks. We'll sync all the banks that are available for use. We'll do, what else? We'll do company types as well. I think that's the next thing that is required. So we'll just do a sole proprietorship. So sole proprietorship, we'll create another one. Oh, wait, all the company types are here anyway, so I didn't even need to create these. They're all here. All right, so given that they're all here, now I think we can just begin by, well, this is the app, essentially. This is a human resource management application built on Laravel and Livewire, using Bootstrap as well. This is how it looks. This, I think, is one of the best creations I've created like since I ever started coding. And it's actually currently in use. It's actually going to be a full-on software as a service system that I plan on selling in the coming month. Maybe this month is the first point where we start selling it. But all in all, let's just begin going through a showcase. So let's say I don't have an account, right? I want to register an account. So my accounts are here. I'll just put in my full name, my password. I'll confirm my password. And then I create the account. And given, oh, so the email has already been taken. Maybe I'll just use another one. Something like this. So once I create the account, I'm sure it's supposed to send an email to. Oh, has this email also been taken? Not really. Has it? This is very interesting. I didn't know these emails were all taken. Let's try it again. So has it really been taken? What's going on here? Okay, well, these credentials do not match our records. Maybe it needs, yeah, okay. So essentially it's just the password thing. Anyway, so you register, you sign up, but I'm still working on the few things when it comes to the signing and sign up and all those different things. Yeah, so you have your company set up over here, and of course you have your wallet balance. You have no companies whatsoever, but now you have to create your first company. Okay, so now on creating your first company, this is what happens, right? So you'll come in here. Maybe I'll put in my technologies company with the KRA pin, and I'll select the company type is a public limited, not public but private limited. And then we'll put in the what's this, the emails, the website, the industry, and the location, the phone number. Maybe we'll put in, we'll just put in one of these. It doesn't really matter as much right now. And put in my name as the contact person. And yeah, then I can upload a logo, right? So I can come in here and upload, like maybe say the Vapor Technologies logo, which is here. So I'll come in here and upload that. And once it's loaded, I can come in here and create the company. Our county field is required, so it's Nairobi. And yeah, we're here, create the company. So we've created the company. Now upon creating it, we have it over here with everything, all the details. But now when we open the company, of course, we're supposed to, pay for access, right? So there's the professional plan, the starter plan. I will probably do it in an annual manner or monthly. Let's just do monthly just for testing purposes. And then we'll select this plan over here. I don't know why I did this. unless there's a bit of a switch up that has happened. But anyway, so we'll come in here, we do this. There will be discount codes, by the way. There'll be affiliate marketing for this, which I will do a full-on video to represent this. But now I'll check out. Then upon checkout, it will redirect to the point of concern, which is paystack access. But this is the test. Situation. So I'll just come in here and emulate a success. And once the success is done, it triggers a webhook that confirms the subscription. And then we'll come in here and select the month of focus, and then we move on forward. So the first things that you should do as a company essentially is you have to go to your company settings, right? So that you select the bank that you plan to use to, like, say, pay salaries or payments or things like that. So I'll select, maybe say ABSA or KCB. Let's select KCB. I'll put in an account number. And then branch code, given that my branch should be, I can't quite recall, should be Karen, I think. So that should be 102. But in order for you to check the branch numbers as you're in Kenya, so you just go to branch numbers, branch name of bank, Kenya. Then you can see Kenya Bankers Association over here. It gives you a PDF. So this PDF, I think I should also link it to this app. It dictates, like, okay, the bank code for, like, let's say now this is KCB Bank, and then the branch codes for each and every single one of the branches that are existing. So let's say I want to go to the Karen branch one. So I can even search here, Karen, and there's a Karen Waterfront Platinum. Then there's also Karen, the actual Karen branch, which is 202, right? So I'll come in here inside this, I'll select it as 202, and then I'll update the credentials, right? So these are all the credentials are required. Mail settings, although we don't use them just yet, it will be necessary when it is coming time to do internal communication between the company and the employees. So this is what will be used for that. Then we've set the company details, that's the bank details, right? Now we come in here and select roles. Of course, roles, there's one particular one that has to be created every single time that you create a company. That's how it goes. You go to users. There's me as the user, but you can add other users, you can invite users. Departments is very crucial. So there are no departments found. You start by creating, maybe say, the engineering department. Which is here. Okay, so we'll create that engineering department, and then we'll come in here and create a designation by selecting that department, selecting the designation that is, maybe say, senior software engineer. And then we select the option that is for attendance penalty. So this is for attendance penalty. If this software engineer fails to attend to his duties at work, like, say, in terms of tracking attendance, then it will penalize him. So I will select no, because, well, senior software engineers don't usually, But here's the thing. I've selected no, and that's a point of contention. I think that's something that we need to edit. I don't know why my mic is misbehaving. Yeah, so I was saying this is a point of contention. I need to edit a few things there, because you see, whenever I select this no option, it should be persistent. It should be persistent. I don't know why my mic is misbehaving. Okay, so given that I've said that it should be persistent, right? So let's go back to the code. Let me see what's going on here. So inside designation, We have Boolean casts over here, which is fine. Okay, I think that should be better, but it's a bit louder. It's much more louder. I hope I'm audible now. Yikes. Okay. So what was I saying? We have our designation over here. We have this is penalizable being the casted as a boolean. So now we just need to go and check out the designations create, which in turn you see is penalizable, is required, and you can see this is a yes or no situation, right? But then now when we go to the create UI right now, this is a yes or no. It should be true or false, right? Ones and zeros might not be fully working, right? So I'll come in here, select the engineering department, designation title, maybe say senior software engineer. Select an option, I'll select yes, no. But then you see now, here's the thing. With strings, this is very interesting actually. With strings, it's either, like, if it's an empty string, it would make sense, right? So let's try again, right? If I come in here and select no, it doesn't. But if I select yes, it will remain yes. This is truly something exceptional. So what I will even do is, instead of using this, a select option, I will use a checkbox, right? And by the, mind you, I code using AI aggressively. So this is one of the points of contention for most developers. I use aggressive methods of coding with AI. I can see in the chat. Welcome to the stream, Naxon Gaming. Welcome to the stream, man. Right. So you can see with checkboxes, it interacts with Boolean values much better. So now we refresh this. Let's see what happens, right? And of course, there's something that has happened here that has taken this sidebar to the other side, which is what should not have happened. So I think there's an extra div that has been formulated. Is that div? Is this div? Yes. So there's an extra div inside here that has been formulated. So we just need to refresh that and refresh this. Yeah, there we go. So when you say eligible for attendance penalty, it will now mark it as true according to the data model binding that we have over here. It should be over here in array or inside designation, right? So penalizable is true. If I mark that, it's false. So yeah, it works. And then now we can just do senior software engineer. And then we create the designation and it works, right? So it's penalizable on attendance, and now the UI is a little bit more fresher. Now we look at responsibilities, right? So we look at things like what this guy is supposed to be doing in the organization. And it looks to me that there's one error that has come up, and that is inside the index.blade.php. That is for responsibilities. So it might be that some of the PHP that I coded was within a JavaScript enclosure. So we'll just go to responsibilities, index. Yes, of course it was. So we'll just come in here, do this, and then these inputs, and right. So that's how it should have appeared. And this is also how it should have appeared, and then the end for each is right there. So essentially, this is what happens. Like when the linting comes in because this essentially is supposed to read JavaScript, right? But in the process of reading JavaScript, it what can I say? It tries to also pass the PHP that I've put inside it as JavaScript. So essentially, that is what happens in coding situations. Let me zoom in so that at least it's a little bit more visible. So yeah, but essentially now this should work because now we've forced this thing to read PHP, and yeah, it should essentially expected token end for each. Let's see. So yeah, so it's doing a bit of the JavaScript. Let's see what was going on before. Okay, I think that should be that. And essentially, this end for it should work. Anyway, yeah, there we go. So ideally, I'm not going to even touch it essentially, because what's happening there is it's a lot of JavaScript, honestly. If I was to look at it, let's just if I'm to think about it, right? On loading this, it's supposed to put every single designation in a situation where now when we press it, we can add a responsibility, and then it sends the yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This it's supposed to call this function add responsibility, and then it sends it to the PHP side of things. And this function over here, this add responsibility, is the one that we're talking about. So it's a bit tedious, and I would want to edit this and just make it better. But essentially, if I was to try it out right now, if I come in here and say oversee all coding, for instance, and then I add the item, it's not going to do anything because, of course, you can see, add responsibility is not defined. So essentially, it's just telling us that whatever it is that we have inside here is nonsense. Essentially, that's pretty much what it's telling us. Yeah, so I'll have to edit this again. I'll just get rid of that. Refresh this. Given that this is an accordion, it will still work. Then when we input items inside here, so this is the addition form. So this is a quick one. So we have this, and then on click, add responsibility. Instead of this on click, add responsibility, I would actually put this form inside a Livewire component. So I will put it like this, right? So I'll just do PHP artisan, make vault. So I'll make vault, I'll say what company responsibilities add responsibility. So here it is, the add responsibility. This create does not have much, right? But I'll take whatever it is that we have inside this index, right? We'll take what's inside this index, and in terms of the quick add form, right? Whatever is inside here, I'll come in here, take this, cut it, and then I'll just come in here and do live wire. So at live wire, and then I'll come in here and do company responsibilities, add responsibility, just like that. And given that this is inside a for each loop for the designation, we are going to pass in the designation ID inside here, such that now yeah, that's it. That's actually essentially this is what I was planning to do. Then when we go to this add responsibility, so now this is a vault situation. What we're going to do here is we're just going to paste everything here. Now we have this on click, it becomes a wire click. And then it adds responsibility based off of the designation ID. But now what we're going to do here, instead of doing add responsibility based off of the designation ID, given that every single time we open this as like a modal, then the add responsibility function is supposed to be unique to that particular modal. It's just that what's going to be different is we'll just go to do public designation ID. Sorry, not public designation ID, but public designation. And yeah, we'll do public designation, and then we'll do public function mount. And this mount takes in the designation ID, and then we import in the designation itself to take shape with that this designation situation here. Then we have a function called add responsibility, which is essentially just that, right? So we have this input value. Now what we're going to do here is responsibility, public responsibility. So we'll do public responsibility like this. And then inside here, this is what's going to happen. We'll just validate and save. So we'll just come in here and just do this, validate. And then we'll just come in here and just do this responsibility. We'll just do this responsibility, save. And what's going to happen here is this responsibility has to be initialized over here. So we'll say this responsibility is equal to a new responsibility. Okay. All right, and then this responsibility designation ID is equal to the designation ID that is at hand. Now we'll just come in here and do the necessary stuff. Add responsibility. We have to validate whatever it is that the responsibility has to have, and we'll just do a public function rules, just like that. So there's the title, the description, and the designation ID. Now we just need to check the responsibilities. The responsibilities table, and you can see we have designation ID and responsibility, but we don't have all this, the description, right? So we'll just get rid of description. Okay, so we have title, we have designation ID, And when we go to the responsibility itself, we have the fillables, right? The designation ID and the responsibility. So this is fine, essentially. Now, when we come in here and do this responsibility save, anything that has come in through here will just be saved automatically, just outrightly, which is quite fine, I think. And then I think I'll just get rid of this button, because it's just one input, right? It's one input, and then you just add. And yeah, I think essentially I've done everything. And then we just come in and just do this this reset, right? Yeah, do a whole reset. Now, I don't know if the reset actually like fully engineers everything, because you can see we have this add new responsibility. I'll come in here and say test. I'll add this. Then you can see we have an uncaught error somewhere. This here should not be happening. And yeah, I think that should be that. Right. So we'll refresh this. Let's try it out again. We test this. Okay. So this button is not clicking. Oh yes, of course, because we've not done the most crucial thing, which is to come in here and do a wire model. Right, and then the wire model should be responsibility dot responsibility. Now here's the thing with this designation ID situation. Yeah, we are good with this. Responsibility title, it should be responsibility. So when you come in here, we just do responsibility, and then now we do that. The next crucial thing for this particular situation here is that we need to add an error output, right? So with this, I don't know why AI is not acting. Okay, now it is. Okay, so now that we have that set up, if I came in here, clicked on this, and then did an add, you can see the responsibility field is required. There's one item over here. Yes, here we are. Get rid of that. So you can see we have this, and then when you click on that, it says the responsibility field is required. Now, if I come in here and just say test and add, it should add it over here, right? Because you see, it should be over here. And what else? What else? Yeah, I think we're in a good place for now. All right, we have to finish this up. Why is screen small? There's two screens shown. So this is a second monitor just underneath here. If I decided to zoom this in, let me just try this out. Would this look a little bit better? I feel like it's a little bit offset, but does this look better? In the chat, let me know if this looks anything remotely better than what we had before. Then let me just format this a little bit better so that it shows up. If I made the cam float on the screen, it would be better. How about this, yeah? How about we make the camera smaller, put it down, put this above, And then my camera is what's secondary. Then I drag this just on top. Right? And then maybe I make like my code full screen. The thing about it is, I can't see the code that is at the top. So I'll probably drag this down just a bit, just to give it room. Yeah, that's much better. What do you guys think? What do you guys think so far? Better? Forgive me, this is my first time streaming vertical. This is the very first time streaming vertical. I've never done this before. So, like, yeah, just let me know if anything. Yeah. But that should be good enough, I guess. I think I'll wrap this inside a div so that the wording pops up at the bottom. Let's try that. So check this out, yeah? Okay, maybe not. Yeah, appears on the bottom. That's okay. Maybe not. Maybe not what I needed. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so I think I'll put this just underneath this then. Given that it's just one input, there's no need for a lot of politics here. Yeah, perfect. Actually, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfectly done. Okay, so we have that, and every time we add something, we need to dispatch a very... So I'll just come in here and just do this research responsibility, and then this dispatch done. And right, so I'll just do this dispatch done, and then I'll toast also. So this toaster comes in from there, success, responsibility added successfully, and we have a few things that we also want to do over here. Up at the top, we have this protected listeners. I don't know if refresh is a general function. Let's just do render, right? Oh no, yeah, refresh is actually right because this is Vault. This is Vault, yeah. Okay, so we'll come in here and just do this. And then we'll come and add test2. Responsibility added successfully, but it's not rendering over here, right? So unless we do it like this, given that they're both components on the same parent component, I could go back to the index over here and make sure that on listening to that done, we just do a render function. So we'll just come in here, we'll go to HTTP, no, not HTTP, Livewire, company, responsibilities. index. So here it is. But not I comfortable. Yeah, I can imagine. I was only just coming to showcase the app, but I've figured out that there's some UI problems as well. So it's not fun, honestly. Trying to showcase something and then you find UI problems, like some very few functionality situations. So I wasn't even planning to come and do some coding. I was planning to showcase what you can do with code, and eventually now I've started coding itself. So it's not fun. It's not fun having to look at this all the time, but we live, we learn. Protected listeners, done, refresh. Okay, so on refreshing this, we have two responsibilities here. And then now we'll just come in here and do test 3. Add that. And you can see it's working, right? If we did render, what would happen? Well, test 4, add. The responsibility field is required. So you can see it is test 4, and then we do that. So it's re-rendering everything. It's not persisting to show up over here. But all in all, it's very okay still. When we go back to the add responsibilities, over here, I'll just come in here instead of doing this reset, we'll just do this responsibility is equal to a new responsibility, and then yeah, this of it is all this is good. Yeah, so I'll just keep it like this for now, and then now of course we have to now create employees. So now we could either add an employee like one after another, right? So I'll come in here and add myself. So I'll come in here and add myself. I'll come and do my national ID and my profile photo if I want. My company info, I'll select my department, my designation, and the date of recruitment. Let's say it's 01/11/2025. And then we'll do personal, but also the what's this? The recruitment date is not mandatory. Date of birth is, because you might be employing a minor and you don't even know. My date of birth is 06/11/1996. Yo, it's my birthday. Damn. Okay, yeah. Great. Yeah. Happy birthday to me, 29. All right, 06/11/1996. Male. Married, let's call it married because it's month 2, and then maybe the pin 0106. Let's start with that one, and then an SSF, an HIF, whatever, and then the county, Nairobi, then the city, Nairobi. Bank details, I could select a bank, maybe say I could just do M-Pesa. I could do KCB. Let's do KCB. Yeah, let's do KCB. Just add one. We have next of kin details. I'm not going to add that. And then we create. And now we have an employee. So this is adding the first one. Happy, but thank you so much. Thank you. 29 today, man. I can't even. I didn't even clock it. It's actually my birthday today. Yeah, didn't legit clock that. Yo, is this real? Like, is this real life? I'm legit forgetting it's my birthday today. Look at that. This is my Google Calendar, wishing, like, it's telling me happy birthday essentially. This is not real life. But anyway, we move. Right. Great. And then you can either do this, you can create one employee or you can create multiple employees, right? So what you do is essentially what I come in here and do is I'll download a template, okay? On downloading this template, I'll come in here and all right, I'll fill this in one after another. And I don't know if I have a sample pieces of data that I can be using over here, but this is essentially how you go about it. So I could come, this is one that I have, I'm sure. Yeah, there's one here. I can use this one. Paste it here. So I'll enable editing and then I paste it over here. And then, of course, there's all these different things. Some that are not, yeah, let's just leave it like this. I'll save this. Then I'll come in here. I'll choose the file that I just downloaded. So which was this one, okay, which I've edited. And then I'll open it, right? It uploads and then I validate the data. So on validating the data, of course, now I'm getting there that we have invalid data. And the reason why we have invalid data is for one reason only. If you look at how this system is structured, this template is structured essentially. If I show you that we have, let me just download it again so that we definitely see what's going on. So we have this employee data, but you need to also understand that we have banks data and we also have designations data, which is going to be used inside those worksheets for this item over here. So there's the designation area over here, okay? So whatever designations that we have will come in here and will pop up, right? So we'll just enable editing so that we can see them. So for instance, if I came in here, I wanted to add 3 employees, right? So I'll come in here and add software engineer, because that's the only designation that is inside here. And then if I wanted to select a bank for this user as well, I can come in here and do like Absa Bank, KCB, Bank of Barodia, whichever. The reason why this is made, that's the situation, is so that the system can read this file easily and not confuse the designations for one or the other. Now, of course, it will read this data and then it will now parse it and upload it and everything. Let me try and do one over here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 7, 8, 9, 0, something like that. Full name is maybe say John Doe. Email address is jdoe@example.com. Then the phone number will be 0712345678. Then maybe say gender. We'll do male. Date of birth, we'll do 0101 stroke 01 stroke 1998. Marital status, single. Carry pin, we'll just leave it as is. You can even just do NA so that it doesn't leave the structure empty. So we'll just do that NA everywhere. So if you know how to use Excel, it's also a bonus. It's a very huge plus for you. Account number should be 2 or let's say 25123456, right? And next of kin, I will leave that alone. And then the recruitment date, I will also leave alone. So these items, I will just 204 123 456. And then over here, I'll do 203 123 456. Yeah, I want to add 2 more, right? So I'll come in here and just copy all of this and then just edit a few things, right? So you see IDs are different. I'll just come in here and just do Jane Fox, something like that. jfox@gmail.com. and then maybe say 0755123456, right? And this one can be 0743771123, something like that. Date of birth could be different, it could stay the same, doesn't matter. This one, I probably will call this one simple wagey. So gmail.com. And yeah, those are 3 different people. Okay, 3 different people, 3 different accounts, 3 different dates of birth. I don't know, but some of them could be the same. Date of birth could be the same. Phone number, I don't think should be the same, but it could be the same. Yeah. So I save this. I come in here and exit this. I'll come in here and select again the template number 5, and then it uploads this. We validate, and now we have these users ready to import. I'll import them, and we are good to go. Well, county, really? When did county become necessary? Yeah, okay, so looks like I have to do a new migration to remove the mandatoriness of county, right? So PHP artisan make migration, remove, what's this, remove, add nullable to employees table. So now when we look at the employees table, this is how structured it is, right? We have the employees, first name, last name, middle name, all these different things are there. We have the email, right? Email is mandatory, but it's not unique. The reason why is because an employee can exit one company and then join another one that's still using the same app. So it cannot be unique, because you see now one company is already having this email, another one is not. So, and then you see there's situations where, like especially here in Kenya, where somebody would want to use one email address with another person to just receive their pay slips and everything, because maybe they're twins, maybe they're, those are things essentially you account for. And, in Kenya, it's especially at a high rate, and because not many people have access to emails, and they like to have a central point of access. Date of birth. So this county and city should not be mandatory, right? So I'll make them nullable. Okay, so going back to this, make migration, add nullable to employees table. I'll do that. And I go to the migration instantly. We already know. Well, it's not done anything. All right, so there's some few things that I need to make nullable here. The county and the city. Okay, so I'll go back to this. I'll take this, the county and the city. Everything else looks nullable. Gender is not supposed to be nullable. Date of birth is not supposed to be nullable. Phone number also not nullable. Password is also not nullable. But county and city, honestly, guys, I don't see a reason why we should have county and city inside here. So I'll come in here and paste these here, and then make them nullable, and then add the change, which is a new functionality that has been there for some time. Yeah, there we go. And then there's the down function. So now if I come in here and do PHP artisan migrate, we migrate, and it is working. Okay, so now when I do that, will this work? Fantastic. So we have 3 new users in the system now. And now we go to employment types. Now each company has its own levels of employment, and I've made that allowance for all companies to be able to have that. So for instance, we have full-time employees. We want to compensate them in a monthly manner, and then we want to say that they're penalizable on attendance absence, and then we want to say that, according to the description, fixed term employees, right? According to the description. Then we save that, and when we come in here and look at this, this is how it is. So they're penalizable on attendance, but it's also dependent on, so it's supposed to be penalizable on attendance, yes, but it's also dependent on the designation if it's also penalizable. So we can have full-time employees that are penalizable, and we can have full-time employees that are not penalizable, all dependent on the designation that they're given. So, like for instance, a director wouldn't be expected to be penalizable on attendance because they can come in and come out freely. But if it's somebody who is in a subordinate level, then definitely going to be penalizable. Managers, maybe not. All those different kinds of people. Then we can create a contract, right? So we create the contracts. I'll start with myself. I'll put myself on contract full-time. I'll say the appointment date is on 1st of November 2025. Expiry is 31st 12, let's say 30th or 31st October 2026, right? Number of days off, given that it's not penalizable, this won't affect anything. And tax status is taxable or not taxable. Question is, for how long have you been building this app? Wow. I can't give a straight answer because the first MVP came out 3 months into starting the building of this app, and that was in 2023. I'd been using it all along, like for different companies. For example, for instance, this is one company that I deployed it on, and you can see the UI. And let me just zoom out of this. So this is the UI of this particular app. It's the same app. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how visible it is. Yeah, it's not so good on the eyes, right? Just as you said. So this is how it looks, as you can see. So the UI is the way it is right now, but I've worked on it quite a big deal of time. Yeah, I could, you know what? I could even rotate this, since you guys are on short, I could actually come in here and rotate this so that you can see it sideways. I don't know. Anyway, but maybe that's for another stream. I'll start attempting to do that in other streams. So this is the app, and it's been working fine for well over, just to show you the payrolls themselves that had been generated for various companies that I deployed for separately. The earliest payroll that I can show you over here is June 2024, but this is for this one. There's another one. There's another one that even this one, if I show you, you'll be. So this is the login. You can see the login is like this. Quite basic, I'd say. Quite basic. So I'll just log in. Select the month. Okay, and then the earliest payroll that I did for this one was in, should be 2023, August 2023, yes. So I started it in, 1 month. I started it in July of 2023. In August of 2023, I was able to generate payroll. And this was how it is. So yeah, this is August of 2023, as you can see. And Yeah, it works. It was working quite fine. I've been doing improvements, adjustments, things left, right, and center. Also, the law has been changing here in Kenya, so there's been times where I needed to, update the law structure for to accommodate like all levels of employees in the country, regardless of whether or not I may be able to employ or rather to enroll employees that would be reaching that bracket. But yeah, we're in a good standing essentially, and now we have developed it in such a manner that we're using one domain, one hosting platform for multiple companies, and the way things are looking, the way things are situating, we're looking because I've been migrating that whole situation. I've been shifting into that the multi-tenancy platform for well over a year now. I've been planning it, I've been structuring it. So this is, it's not well over a year, maybe say 8 months. It's been 8 months since I started restructuring it. And now we're at a point where we can actually sell it and say, yes, this is actually working. Because now I've deployed those same companies onto my system right now. I've already deployed them onto the main system. Just a few tweaks and changes here and there. Like for instance, this also needs to be a checkbox, right? You can see the way it's behaving. So we'll just go back to the code and we'll go to the contracts create. So contracts create. So that is company contracts create. And you can definitely see we have this is taxable and then is net. So I'm sure that the part for the is net needs to be, you can see treat amount as, right? So essentially it should be, there should all be checkboxes, right? For instance, the first one is on this, let me just close down the tabs first. And I hope there's no JavaScript. Okay, great. So I'll close down the tabs area first. This is tab content. The tab navigation and all. Why am I not seeing full screen for the stream? Let me just. You see, this is what's happening here, right? If I do any further than this, it's gonna be a bit clunky for you, let's see. Anyway, let's just do it like this for now. I probably will never stream in vertical again if this is the way it's supposed to be. Why am I not seeing full screen for the stream? Full screen for the stream. So, essentially, what I'm trying to do is do a vertical, right? I'm just trying to do a vertical stream here, but it's seeming a bit impossible. But welcome to the stream, Tagotax. Welcome to the stream. I was asking about the video. Yeah, as in, essentially, I was just trying to do a vertical. I figured verticals, I don't know, I've never done a vertical before. I was just trying this out. I'm a techie. I have to try things out to see if they work or they don't work. And clearly, this doesn't work. So essentially, I'm just going to go back and I'll revert back to using, the normal streaming platform, the normal streaming way in 1080p. Ideally, I could flip this, right? I could come in here, do a transform, right? And I rotate 90 degrees clockwise. I fill it up the screen so that you guys can be able to see it. And then I float this somewhere, my camera, say somewhere like here. Right, and then I also rotate this. I don't know if that will work. I honestly don't think it will work. Because I see it as though like the chat is going to be blocking some of the stuff, right? Maybe I'll also rotate this the other way around. It's worse, right? It's a lot worse. The chat stuff is blocking, right? But let me just try again. Like you see, can you be able to see this? Damn, yeah. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. So I'll just transform it back. But given that I didn't know some of you are using the laptop to view this. I thought this was mostly being viewed on mobile. Let me try just to minimize it to this level, and then maybe my face cam should be maybe at the top. I don't mind it being at the top. I don't know. I could have warped it, or I don't know. Coding in vertical is something that's not there. It's not. No one is doing it, right? So I figured why not try. I've been seeing guys doing gaming. I've been seeing a lot of gaming. I feel like this is better. Guys, just tell me. Maybe I'm being full of myself. I'm being full of crap. How is this? How is the viewpoint over here? Meanwhile, as we get the responses, let me go back to the code and change a few things. It's not working out, right? After this stream, I'll go back to streaming like in the normal way. I don't think this was not right. Yeah, this has been unfair to you guys. I do indeed apologize. But when we come back properly, we'll come back with like a better structure. And yeah, there's going to be a streaming timetable coming out now that I've finished the main project that I was planning to finish up, which was this essentially. It's finished. Yes, there's still a few things that need to be worked on. Like say for instance over here, let's say use checkbox here. Okay, so treat as net amount, and then the next one here is this one. Use checkbox here. There's a div that has been added as an extra here. Let's accept this. Let's move this out. The other one was okay, right? So I'm just going to save this. Now let's try again, right? Let's try and, okay, let's use, so we'll come in here and select myself first, senior software engineer, full-time, contract terms should be appointment date 01/11/2025, to expiry should be 31/10/2025, weekly number of days, and then tax status, taxable income. Right, and then the amount should be maybe say 150,000 Kenyan shillings, and then we treat the net the amount as net. Yeah, we can treat it as net or as gross. Now this is better. right? This is better. I think we'll just use the checkbox. We'll say we treat it as net, and then we create the contract. But there's something that has come up. So you can see this is 2025. So essentially there's something else that I will do is whenever the error pops up, when I come in here and create a contract, the error should highlight inside, maybe say any one of the tabs. So that's the next adjustment that I'll make, but this is working. Now we have the contract done. We can create another one, maybe say for good measure, we can do somebody else and put them on a gross salary. So we'll come and put this one at full-time. Contract terms will start from 01/11/2025 to 30/10 or 30/11/2025. We could do 31/12 actually. And then number of days off, taxable, and then the compensation should be like maybe say 100,000 gross, right? So we'll just create the contract like that. So now here it is net. If I did this and then did this again and then create, it will work. So that's another issue right there, right? Why not validate each form before transition? That could be one way to go about it. That actually is one way to go about it. But then you see now that's a lot of validation because you're thinking about it like you're saving all this data before you go to the next tab, and you see that next tab, it's only being rendered inside the HTML. It's not using any PHP whatsoever, only just to validate whether or not we're in which tab, so that it can show it on the navigator. Other than that, everything else is being rendered basically in the HTML, so that we can just move on forward, right? So validating each was something that I was looking into, and I figured that was there's a very huge time complexity constraint that will happen in that situation. I'll figure it out eventually. Maybe that will be the way to go, but then I'll have to also figure out which kinds of algorithmic configurations that I'll need to be doing in this. But all in all, it's just a form. I could have put it in one page like the way I did it in the previous version of this app. Like say, for instance, you can see we go to employees and then we go to create a contract here. And then all of it is in one form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? I thought this was cooler. I thought putting it in this looked a lot cooler, right? All in all, it's something that I'm thinking of revisiting, and now that you've questioned it, I'm thinking heavily about it. So thanks for that. Yeah. Let's create one more. Let's create one more contract. Let's do Jane Fox. But now this time, inside the create for the contract, whenever we initialize the is taxable, there is net, right? There's this is net and is taxable. Over here, what should happen is, given that inside this, the contract, the is net situation by default should be false, right? Let's actually look at this. Let's go to contract table. So you can see is net default is false. Is taxable default is true, right? So what happened here, let's just do the appointment 01/11/2025 to 31/12/2025, 1 day, and then taxable income. Then we do the compensation, right? 50K. Let's do it 70K, right? We'll do that, and then treat as net. So now if I leave this blank, then I create contract, we have an error somewhere, right? We've not chosen the employment type. So now when you come back here, you can definitely see full-time, monthly, gross, right? But now when I click on this, the error that pops up states that, you see, a not null violation, null value column is net of relation contracts, violates the not null constraint, right? So it's not null, definitely, but then here's the thing. Inside here is net, we have a default value of false, because it's a Boolean and it's not null. Yeah. That should be the default value. I don't like to put Boolean values as nullable, okay? By default also, taxable should be true, right? But if I disabled taxable and made it false, same thing would apply. So I don't understand why this, again, default value is false here, fine. Why is it not reflecting inside here in the contract, right? It's a very, very, very interesting question here. It's a question of what? Of whether or not the deployed table has actually deployed with the booleans having default values. So yeah, essentially, what would I do here in this situation? When I'm saving, I will do it like this, right? I will do it like this contract is net would be equal to that or false. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so it's worked. It's worked now. That is the only validation I needed. My goodness. That's the only validation I needed. Like, I don't understand how, if I could have just done this, this would have not been a problem whatsoever. Let me just get rid of this. And then, so again, let me just go back to the issues again. So when we're looking at this, the contract creation, the first issue is if I go ahead and create the contract, it's not telling us where the errors are on the tabs, right? Yet in each and every single tab, there's an error here, there's an error here, there's an error here. Fixable with AI, especially with Claude Code, very, very, very quick fix, in my opinion. Now, the next thing is that some of these things, these items, like here, you have this treat as net amount, the amount, all those different things. Let's create another contract. Let's go to simple widget. Let's make him full-time. Let's give him an appointment from 1st all the way till 30th of this month. And then the weekly off days, maybe 1. And then we'll leave taxable income blank. We'll go and give him maybe say 80,000, right? So now we'll create this contract, and now also taxable has a problem, right? Yes, there we go. So that is what we need here. So we'll just come in here and just do this contract is taxable, but by default it should be true. No, by default, you see, if it's taxable, if that item has not been checked, then it should return false. It should return false. Because if that item has not been checked, you see, we're already starting on off of a point of these items are already taxable. So if we did not put this as false, if we did not put this as false here, then every single time that we upload a contract, if we didn't mean for it to be taxable, then it will just say that it is taxable, because in the database by default it's supposed to be true. So yeah, we'll just do that, and then we'll create the contract, and now we see that for this guy it's not taxable, which is great. Now that being done, if we're not doing anything else, if we're not doing attendance, because you see now these are designations that are not followed up by attendance, but attendance is a possibility. We can, okay, let me just go through the entire system again. We can ban employees through the employees table, and then we can also mark employees that have exited the company. Now, attendance, this is how it looks, okay? Attendance is, I'll say attendance is one of the biggest concerns for most companies to this day, especially in Kenya, because they're not able to fully track attendance and plot it down to a more desirable outcome for the business. The reason why that is because they just assume certain figures. Like for instance, they think that the law said that you have to have 4 off days minimum in every month, right? And that's not the case. The reality of the situation is you need to have at least 1 off day every week in the month, every single week of work. So for every 6 days, there has to be 1 day of rest. So after 6 days, the 7th day is a rest. 6 days, 7th day, 6 days, 7th day. Now, if that is the situation, we have to come to the calculator and look at what's going to happen in a 30-day and a 31-day situation. In a 30-day situation, if we were to round off what happens in 30 days, right? So we'll do divided by 6 minus 1, which is 4 days, right? Now, if it was any decimal above 4, then it would automatically round up to 5 days. But now in a 31-day situation, we divide by 6 minus 1. It's at 4.1667. It's above 4 days, so it should be 5 days automatically. So in a 31-day month, it should be 6 days. It should be 5 days. In a 30-day month, it should be 4 days. In February's, which is 28 days, divide that by 6 minus 1. Should be 4 days. Same thing happens if it's a leap year as well, because leap year is 29 days. Divide by 6 and then minus 1. Same thing, 4 days, 4 days, 4 days. But in a 31-day month, it's 5 days. That's how, essentially, that's how it's been dictated by the Employment Act. Now, that is essentially what I've implemented over here. And given that I won't be able to demonstrate it with these designations right here, but even same thing with overtime, by the way, I can't be able to do that with these designations right here. Now, where are we? Leave types, okay? We have leave types. We can create every single leave type for the companies that are currently in a situation. The thing about these leave types is I have to have a default leave type being set up, default leave types being set up for these companies whenever they'll be created. That is something that I will do in code. I won't do it right now. Then leave requests received from the employees from their own portal. And before we do any, I will show you the portal itself as it works. And then we have, what else? We have leaves. We can attempt to put leave for these various employees and so on and so forth. We have fines, bonuses, salary advances, staff welfare contributions, loan management, payroll, all those different things. The final thing that I want to show is the payroll. Fines is very straightforward. You can come in here, you do fines, you add a fine for, let's say, this person. So now let's say it's for me and I'm earning 150 net. So if I come in here and fine myself 1,000 shillings, I should be earning 149,000 in the month of November. So 1,000 shillings. And reason for this fine, I'll say it's a test, and then I'll record the fine, right? I'll select this employee, record the fine. All right, so that the same exact way works with bonuses, works with loans. Loans, it's different slightly. It works with advances the same way, but with loans, it's slightly different. If I come in here and create a loan, I have to know how many months I am paying it back. What's going on here? What? What's going on here? What's actually going on? What's actually happening here? This is not right, because this is populated. What's happening here? Okay, with loans, we have loans here, right? They're here. If I want to add a loan, I can't just now. Well, I have to fix that now, essentially. I have to fix that now. So first things first, we have, I have this from the old code base actually. So just going to hit F11 and open the other code base. All right, so here it is. It's essentially everything that is here. The only thing I'm going to change, yeah, it's everything here actually. So I'm just going to change just a small fraction of items here, because inside create, once I create, and then I'm going to remove logging. I'm going to, okay, so loan deduction has to be there. Loan, so this employee's detail is employee. Carbon, of course, has to be imported. It's the same thing too. It's just the same things. Public function. Loan is new loan. Selected employee, loan reason, loan amount, loan transaction, year, month, repayment months. Public function save. And then instead of dispatch, because here we don't need a, we're not listening to this dispatch event, so I'll just use toaster here. So toaster success. For employee username, then we change this to employee, where raw, and that should be that. So now the error should have dissipated by now. Yes, and I've not also imported the loan. All right. Employee user. Oh, yikes. This loan employee ID, and then we have employee user somewhere. So it should be employee name, and I think it's not even employee name. I think it's employee, where is it? Should be full name. Should be full name. Yeah, get full name attribute, so it should be full name. Full underscore name, just like that. All right. Right. Next thing is, that is inside create, the render function, concat first name, last name. Yeah, it's not warehouse user. All this goes. All of that goes. Right, so this is how we are. I think it looks good so far. But this this should change. Live company loans create. Refresh this. Boom. We're here. And now the next thing that we need to do is the layout. So this layout, there we go. Now we refresh this and we're good to go. So now, of course, this has to change slightly because it's only talking about period of payment. It's not also talking about payment progression, right? The installments of payment. So if I needed to do that, this is where the problem lies, right? If I needed to do that, let's say I took a loan. Why is it not selecting? Why is it not selecting? I don't understand this. What's going on? We've changed the UI, Sawa. That's okay. Why is it not doing what it needs to do? Right? Because you see, we have this where click select employee with the employee ID. And once we select the employee ID, it should trigger this here and say selected employee. So over here, oh, I see what's going on. So instead of doing selected employee, and this is the only point of reference, right? I will do this loan ID, loan employee ID is equal to ID, just like that. Then this has one other reference, which is inside the save. So now that it's there, I don't even need to do it anymore. I don't need to do employee find this selected employee ID or something like that. And then I just get rid of this. Now we have this with 0 references. We don't need it anymore. All right, so, and I come in here and select this. I've selected this person. But now, here's the thing. This is what I want. I wanted to select that person, fine. And then I wanted to state the search. This search is equal to the employee full name, right? Yeah, and essentially when I do that, okay, that's how it is. If I come in here and select somebody else, great. Okay, so then let's say it's a loan amount is 5,000 shillings and you want to pay it in a period of maybe say 2 months. So it will split it into 2 even months. What is it doing? What is it doing? There's loan amount, there's months. Should it be period months or it should be months? Should be repayment months, yeah. Repayment months, like that. Interest rates. I don't think I needed interest rate. I don't have interest rate. Then there's status. I don't have status also. Get rid of that. And then reason. Reason, I'm pretty sure I do have reason, right? I have reason. Year, month, reason is there, amount, transaction. Right. Let me actually look at the loans table again. Yeah, so you see employee ID, reason, amount, year, and so there's year and month. So there's the year and month when it's starting, right? So there should be a selection of at which point is it starting. Right, and this is where we use Cloud Code. So these are the issues essentially, right? So this is something that I need to really sort out because many people usually take loans at a very, very precarious time. This is the first month I'm using this system full force. So I think I just, yeah, like last month was the month that I was using this system full force. So it's a learning curve on its own. It's a learning curve on its own. That there's some things that I need to fix in the system. All right, payroll. On the form, I noticed that you've stuck the save and cancel button, but in my opinion, users may accidentally click the cancel button instead of the save. Yeah, I'm thinking also of removing it, by the way. I think I'll remove the cancel button. Yeah, I think I'll remove it. You're right. Now, we generate the payroll, right? I'll click on generate. It generates, it says successfully generated payroll for 0 employees. And there should be a reasoning for that. Essentially, we're in November, right? If this, the designation itself is penalizable, right? If I decided to disable this attendance penalty situation, then it's not penalizable anymore, okay? So, oh, wait, I can actually work with this. Let's work with this. Yeah, let's work with this. But anyway, let's generate the payroll. We recalculate the salaries. And as you can see, very quickly, it calculates everything, right? Gross salary total, 466,944.85. So you can see my net pay is 149, just as I had said precariously. Then, which means my gross salary essentially should be this 216. I can download the payslip so that we can be able to see what's going on. So that essentially we can be able to see what's happening here. Great. So we have the payslip here. Let's open it up and you can see we have it left off. Right, we have our payslip here, and it's broken it down very nicely, right? So you can see the contract. It says net salary of 150,000 monthly. So it tabulates the gross salary 216,944.85. So then it does NSSF, taxable income, income tax, tax relief, general relief, the payee, the SHA, affordable housing levy, NITA, advances, fines. Now, this fine is not included in the gross total, right? So when it subtracts everything all together, that's when I get the 149. Otherwise, I would have been having that 150 as the net pay. That's essentially how it works. There's a whole service class that is in the background calculating everything, which is quite nice. I think we've gotten to a point where we can even generate like the payment files that are usually uploaded to the bank, right? So I'll come in here and just do payments, right? So I've successfully made the payment for employees. I'll come into the bank. I'll download the bank slip, which is in KCB, and then I save this. So essentially, this is how it looks, right? Tabulates all the net pays and everything. I can also email to each and every single one of these guys their pay slips, right? I can send the breakdown to the admins, all right? And the breakdown generally looks like this. This is the breakdown. It's in an Excel format. So in a case where somebody is not accessing the system, they can still access the Excel sheet, and it tabulates it perfectly right here up until the end, right? Then, so just testing sending the admins for review, right? If we send to an admin for review, it will go to, given that this is on a test platform, I've configured it to go to Mailtrap, which is my preferred email testing situation or testing system. And just loading up, takes time usually. And speaking of taking time, I don't know if Battlefield finished downloading. I think that's why my internet is quite slow, because I have a game that is installing, Battlefield 6. Yeah, it's all good. All right, so we have this, and then you can definitely see that we have this. There's the admin email created, and then there's this email. All right, so this email, this is for verification, right? Whenever we've created a new user. Now, the main issue here is we need to run this email so that it can be sent. We can just do PHP artisan. For me, I shortened PHP artisan to PA. So I can do PHP artisan queue work, because it's all been queued. And then now it sends there's a welcome email job. Then there's also another one, I'm pretty sure. Now there's this send payroll breakdown to admin's job. And it has to extract that Excel sheet and then send together with a new email. So this is the one, the payroll review. So with the payroll review, you can see that it breaks it down very nicely. Gross salary is here. Then it says the attached reports are so attachments are here. All right. There's the statutories and the payroll itself. Statutories might be empty given that I've not extracted payments just yet. So let's just download it and we see what's going on. Yeah, okay. Well, we have statutories. At least that is how it is. Then payroll itself, you can definitely see that it's similar to the one that we downloaded initially. You can see that's how it goes. So that is essentially what happens when we're using the system, and that's the final result essentially. Because what you want to do next is you take this text file that you've already generated, and then you go to your KCB or ABSA, because those are the two banks that I'm currently cooperating with to generate these bulk payment files. Of course, there will be other banks that I'll be collaborating with, like Equity, there's Equity, there's Standard Chartered, so many other different banks that I'm thinking of coinciding with, so that we can be able to work this out. Other than that, I'm thinking of also using Paystack for direct disbursement, so that this payment situation, I don't just leave it empty. But that's essentially how I want to work things out. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to close off the stream and maybe move this to the next stream, which I'll be doing in full screen. But this application is actually now live, and it's actually now live on app.forcehrm.com, right? app.forcehrm.com. The main website is forcehrm.com. So this is the main website. Let me just load it up. Then you can definitely see, like, there's so many things that you can test with. Of course, I need to change this UI. I need to change so many things on this actually. And I will be redesigning the website generally using Cloud Code and GitHub Copilot and all the things that are necessary to make this quite well done, and so that we can be able to have a good website for this application. All in all, this is still quite fine. It's still quite nice, but there's a lot of edits that we need to do. You can come in here and test the calculator and see how it is. Like, the only country we've enabled it for is Kenya so far. If we come in here and did October 2025, gross salary of 150,000, for instance, gross, right? Then you calculate. Then this is how it should come about. Okay, this is how it should come about. telling you exactly what you'll be getting in your bank account, telling you what goes into your NSSF contribution. Maybe this is also times 2 because this is you contribute and then also the company contributes for you. So that's what goes into your NSSF. That is 8640. SHA, this is what goes to your social health. This is what goes to your housing levy. This is what your taxable income is after all those deductions. And then, some people may think that, I post the link. Let me post the link actually. I've posted the link. So essentially, people may think that, given that you're getting a system, you're so far spent in terms of getting the data. But the data that is in October 2025 is not the same data that is in October 2024 because the laws have changed. So what has happened here is I've enabled it in such a manner that it goes and tracks back towards what happened in the past. Before now, like this year, we started deducting this from the gross salary, the SHA and the affordable housing levy from the gross salary so that we have a lesser taxable income. But in times past, it used to be there, right? It used to be included in the deductions completely. Then we have 2023. 2023, this is what used to happen. So you can see there's a huge shift. NSSF contributions were a lot less. NHIF contributions were a lot less. And your net salary was a lot higher. Well, higher by like maybe say 5,000 shillings. So that's essentially how we work things out. You can go ahead, test this out, try use the calculator, try, all these different things. It's live. It's live. I'm going to come up with also another marketing module for affiliates, where like if you progressively sell based off of a discount code that we will be issuing, you'll get to earn with this with us. So that is essentially what it is. And you've asked, where's your target market? So my target market is essentially any company that has more than 10 employees. Essentially any company that has more than 10 employees that is still struggling to use Excel sheets and all that stuff to be able to, get things done. Yeah. So that's who I'm targeting. That's what I'm targeting. So it's literally any company. Like if you look at this is the live application, right? This is a restaurant. This is a hotel. This is an energies company. This is another restaurant. All these are being managed by me, right? But essentially, there are more companies that are in the system that are not being managed by me, of course. If I go to the admin section of this application, I'll be able to see the list of companies that have been enrolled and the users that are there. But I probably won't do that for the sake of this. And I can also give free subscriptions from my side. I could do all those different things from the admin section. Use USD. I'm from Africa, so I don't understand Kenyan dollars. But this, okay, well, essentially this app is tailor-made for Kenya, right? This app is essentially made for Kenya, right? So that's why it's in Kenyan shillings. But the conversion rate from Kenyan shillings to US dollars is 125 to 130 around there, right? So USD to Kenyan shillings, right? So essentially, if we're talking about 150,000 Kenyan shillings, we're talking about 1160 US dollars, right? To about 1160 US dollars. This is essentially part of like the highest, part of the high earning situations in Kenya, 150 beyond, right? So that's 1160 US dollars a month. And I understand that could be quite low in the States, actually. So 1160 maybe times 12 comes to about 13,000 US dollars a year, right? So that's essentially low in the States, but that could work out very well here in Kenya. Now, the conversion rate, is, like I said, it's 130. What else? What else could I say? So essentially, if 150 is the gross, then it's taxed all the way till 110. 110,000, that comes to 851 USD. So you take that 1106 minus 851, 255 US dollars goes tax. It's essentially how it is. But this is how we've created it for the Kenyan market. The target market is Kenya, essentially just Kenya. For this application, essentially, because I understand the tax system, I understand the tax code and the way it works here in Kenya, and it comes to employment. In other countries, it's slightly a little bit more complex. So before I even divert it to other countries, I want to start with the Kenyan market first and make sure that things are moving progressively well with this, and then I move on to the the East African market, then maybe the American market, the European market, the Australian market. We'll see. With time, if things work out, this will work very well. And then also trying to incorporate artificial intelligence into it to calculate certain metrics to enable certain companies to make decisions. This would be really beneficial for that. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's it. I'm going to close off the stream. TargetX, thank you for joining. Moayad, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, and for anyone else who's also seen this and we've gotten to interact, guys, it's been real. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, may God bless.